This is Bumper to Bumper, the car show. Drive in anxious and cruise out confident. With the best automotive information for your vehicle. And now your hosts, Matt Allen and Dave Riccio.
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Auto Body edition of Bumper to Bumper Radio. I am Dave Riccio, and Matt Allen again decided he didn't want to come in this morning. Actually, he's vacationing somewhere very nice. So at Bumper to Bumper Radio, we are helping you, the motoring public, have a better overall car experience. If you got car questions, we've got car answers. So I encourage you to give me a call at 602-277-5827. 602-277-KTAR. So today on the Bumper to Bumper Roadmap, the car tip of the week, open phones and text, and what to do when you're in a car accident. And I didn't want to come in all by myself, so I bought Kevin Rowe from I17 Collision. And I thought today would be a great day to talk about auto body. And I've known this guy for a long time. I don't know if you know this, Kevin, but I detailed the cars or washed the cars when I was 16 at the collision shop. Long time ago.
That's incredible. Small world.
Do you even remember me?
No.
I was memorable, right? So anyway, but the thing that, I called Kevin. I said, hey, you're coming on the show Saturday. We're going to talk about auto body. What do you want to talk about? And what's the first thing that came to your mind?
The first thing that came to my mind, Dave, was that people are just unprepared. Most people don't think that they're going to be in a wreck. Most of them don't think it's going to happen to them. But statistically, you know what? It's coming. If it hasn't happened to you, you're going to be getting in a wreck soon.
Did you say once in every 7 years that's the average?
Yeah, that's once in every 7 years, and for me, it's been a little bit more frequent than that. So,
well, they kind of come in pockets. It's really, I just got my car fixed. My wife had crashed a Toyota Camry in our neighborhood, and it wasn't her fault that time. And then so we got the car all fixed up and everything. And then she's driving a couple weeks later and crashes the front end again. And I called the body shop that we went to, and I asked if it was under warranty.
Oh.
And it wasn't under warranty. But, it frazzled her when she got in this accident. She didn't know what to do in both instances. I mean, the one in the neighborhood was one thing, and the first thing she did was get out of the car. She was driving on the road, pulling up to a stop sign, and a car backed out in front of her, and she hit it, and she started apologizing. She thought it was her fault.
Yep. Yeah, it's never a good situation. There's it's always emotional. When you get into a wreck, the blood pressure goes up, and a lot of times it can get a little strange with people's personalities and temperaments and all of that.
So what is the number? I mean, they're not expecting it to happen.
Exactly.
You're just every day you see as a normal day. I'm going to get in my car. I'm going to drive to work. I'm going to work. I'm going to go to lunch. I'm going to come home, and I'm going to eat dinner and whatever, but I'm going to get in an accident. What do I need to know? It's going to happen.
Yeah. Well, the first thing is people with the idea that it's not going to happen to them, they don't insure themselves the right way. I see customers coming into the shop frequently where they're not thinking, well, they think they're safe drivers. It's never going to happen to me, but there's other people on the road, and that's what you have to think about. Not having adequate coverage when your car gets in a wreck. I see the stories, and people come into my shop all the time where they're underinsured. They have a new vehicle, or maybe a couple years old, and it's depreciated so much that the value of it doesn't match their loan anymore, and they don't have that gap coverage in there. So if their car totals out, they're stuck with a $5,000 car payment still. The difference between what they were given by the insurance company as opposed to what their loan is at this point. There's things like that. Or if you have an older car and you don't have full coverage.
Yeah, I used to drive older cars and I didn't have full coverage.
Exactly.
I never had an accident where one got totaled out or something like that happened, but you're saying it's still a good idea to carry full coverage on your older vehicle.
I recommend it. I see it all the time down at the shop where somebody's driving this reliable car that they've been driving for years. They've maintained it, at a good shop, and but it's not worth much anymore. So it's like, I'll just take liability only, state minimum. It's worth $4,000 or whatever. But they get in a wreck, and they can't turn around and buy another car for that $4,000, and they don't even get that because they have liability only. So it's that situation.
The
too.
replacement value of that $4,000 car is $10,000.
Yeah,
I
easy,
mean,
easy.
if you're a person who doesn't need the newest, latest modern thing out there, you can drive the $4,000 or $5,000 car, but that car is actually hard to replace if it's a car you've had for years. You know the history on it. You
Yep.
know the same mechanic's been taking care of it for years.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes the devil you know is better than the devil you don't know. You think you can go buy a used car that's going to replace that and make you just as happy. It's not.
It's not. And I have customers that come in and pay to actually have cars fixed that have totaled out just because they know the history.
Yeah.
And it's that situation.
For sure. So you said something, you think you're a good driver and you're not going to get in an accident, but the ticket my wife got on the freeway, and she's not listening today, and we're kind of upset at each other right now, so I can talk about this. No, I'm sorry. But the ticket that she got was failure to avoid an accident. So it had nothing to do with her. She was going about her merry way, and something blew up in front of her, and now she's in an accident.
Exactly.
So you never know when that's going to happen, and she could be a great, safe, conscientious driver, but the last I checked, she hasn't been to a sport driving course where she can spin the car to avoid an accident.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why having, talking to your agent and having good coverage on the front end is always a good idea. Always a good idea.
Let's go through the steps real quickly. The other thing you mentioned when we were talking before the show is, okay, I am in an accident.
Mm-hmm.
What is my reaction? Okay, I'm in an accident. I obviously need to get out of the flow of traffic. That's not a good place to be.
Yeah.
But now that I'm out of the flow of traffic, what do I do to protect myself and make sure the situation is handled fairly?
Okay. First thing is to stay calm. Try to, again, depending on the severity of the accident, you could be very emotional, or the other party might be very emotional. The biggest thing is stay calm and collected, and I recommend always involving the police. I've had it happen, or I've seen customers come in to the shop and where they get in an accident and the other party's like, well, I don't want to call the police. I don't want to run this through my insurance company. Can we just, handle this ourselves?
That's a bad idea.
That's a red flag. I've seen it happen where, they take the information, that kind of thing. The next day comes in and it comes time to actually call the different insurance carriers, but the stories might change, from yesterday to today, and it's a totally different situation.
That would never happen.
Yeah, that never happens.
The closer the story is of the accident, the more accurate it is, the further it gets, day 1, day 2, week 2.
Yep.
That never happened. What are you talking about?
That's why it's really important to get the police involved, because it's an impartial third party. They come in, they collect the information. They're there to keep the situation calm. It's just they're there, and they also their presence always is just, for me, always recommended.
They're good at very bad situations.
Yeah.
Because everything they come to is pretty much a bad situation. Once in a while there's a cat in a tree, but that's probably not on the average.
Yeah.
Something that's happening to them every day. Now, you said that people try and preserve the scene of the accident, so they stay right in the middle of the flow of traffic. Not a good idea?
Not a good idea. If your car is drivable, get off to the shoulder of the road or get into a parking lot. The police have their forensics where they can, check the skid marks and look at the crash on both vehicles. They are able to determine what actually happened. But yeah, be safe. That's the biggest thing, is get off the road. If you're on the freeway and you're waiting for the police to show up, I saw it last week. There were 2 people in the center lane, and traffic's whizzing by them, and the cars look drivable to me, but they were just sitting there, and that is just such a scary place to be.
At the end of the day, money's just money, and cars are just cars. And
they can get fixed.
You want to protect your life.
Yep.
Get somewhere safe. So when we come back, we've got wide open lines at 602-277-5827. You can also text us at 411-923. If you've got an out-of-body question, you got an accident, need to know what to do, I've got the guy on who can help. If you're thinking about getting a repair, bumper painted, something you hit, give us a call on that, or a new paint job on your car, or even how to wash and take care of your car. We'll be talking about that as well. And it doesn't have to be about out-of-body. Anything really is fine. 602-277-5827, 602-277-KTAR. You listen to Bumper Radio. Matt and I share car repair tips weekly to help you keep your car safely on the road, and a few of them are easy to do.
Yep, you're right, Dave. And one of the easiest is to have a dependable battery that you can trust to get you started no matter what the conditions.
Interstate batteries are what we trust at Bumper to Bumper Radio. In fact, they're what we use at our own shops for our customers.
If you're like most people, your car is one of your most valuable investments. Make sure you take care of that investment with the power necessary to get you where you need to be. Interstate batteries are America's #1 replacement brand with the factory fresh guarantee, and they're easy to find at good shops everywhere.
Cars or trucks, Interstate has you covered with long life and performance in our harsh desert climates with products like Megatron Plus. It carries a 30-month free replacement and a 6-year performance guarantee.
Interstate batteries. No battery lasts longer. Check them out at interstatebatteries.com.
It sounds like they've just had the accurate automotive experience. We're family owned and operated and have served the Mesa, Tempe, Gilbert communities for over 22 years. We focus on building long-lasting relationships and, oh yeah, listening to you so that we can understand, meet, and exceed your expectations. One location, 14 bays, 88 years of automotive expertise, and a passionate commitment to customer service and excellence. My name is Lee Weatherby, and I approve this message because it's true. We love what we do, and we want to do it for you. Accurate Automotive, the home of friends serving friends.
Trust. It's hard to earn and sometimes even harder to find. If you live or work in downtown Phoenix, Matt Allen's Virginia Auto Service is celebrating over 20 years of award-winning service at the corner of 7th Street and Virginia. Recognized as one of the best service shops in the country, their customers have come to trust Virginia Auto Service for its A+ rating by the BBB, 2-year 24,000-mile warranties, and free transportation to and from your home or office. 20+ years of earning your trust. Virginia Auto Service. They're serious about service.
Few cities are as car-centric as Phoenix, and this is the show that'll help you to better understand that machine you depend on to get around the valley. It's Bumper to Bumper Radio. KTAR News on 92.3 FM and the KTAR app for Android and iPhone.
Well, welcome back to Bumper Radio. I am Dave Riccio. Matt Allen from Virginia Auto Service is off today, taking another Saturday off, but he'll be back with us next week so we can wreak some havoc. So I have Kevin from I17 Collision, who is one of the body shops on bumpertobumperradio.com, and he's here to help you with your accident questions and fill us in on auto body. And in the first segment, we're talking about what to do when you get in an accident. No one plans on it, but now it's here. What the heck do I do? And so far, we've talked about always calling the police. Mm-hmm. Do that.
Yeah.
Get to a safe place. Call the police. Don't be chintz on your insurance. You want good insurance because it will happen. It's unavoidable. It's kind of like I tell people when I'm selling transmissions, it's like selling coffins. Nobody wants one, but everyone gets one at some point.
Yep.
You drive long enough, you're going to get in an accident.
It's going to come.
So that's insurance that you'll actually use. Some insurances you don't use, like all the insurances they sell you at the, you're buying something at the, I was buying a football the other day, and they said, you want the coverage on the football?
Oh, my gosh.
Like, this is a $20 football. Why do I want to add $4 to the bill? So it looks like we've got John in Phoenix with an accident question. Hey, John, you are on Bumper to Bumper Radio. How can we help you today?
Okay, this is not really a question, kind of like some information that was out there. I've been rear-ended like 4 times, so I'm kind of familiar dealing with the insurance process. And, nowadays with the Carfax, my niece had bought like a 2014 Murano, and it was rear-ended, not her fault. And I had explained to her, of course she didn't listen to me, but, about once the vehicle is repaired to get the diminished value, because, once the car has been damaged, it doesn't have the trade-in value that it would had it not been, and you can't cover it up because of Carfax.
Yeah, with the diminished value on that, it is based on the severity of the actual accident as far as with your trade-in value. Actually, I had somebody ask me this question 2 days ago at the shop. And anything, generally the $2,000 line is where you will notice a difference. If the repair was $2,000 or more, you'll notice a difference on your trade-in value on that. So, yeah, diminished value is out there for you to recover that from the insurance company after you've been hit from another party. So.
Okay, so you hear from another party. Now, you wouldn't necessarily, would you get that from your own insurance company? If, you got full coverage, you crash your car, when you go to trade in the car, you get losing, is diminished value coming there?
I have never seen that happen, personally. Okay. Yeah.
Right.
When you're at fault.
Now, sometimes people think, a car's been in a wreck, it's not a good car, and that's a great auto body thing, because you're saying these cars they're designed to be wrecked and repaired. So there's crumple zones and all that. Maybe you can speak to that.
With the I get that question all the time, but my car's just never going to be right. When people come in, that they get in an accident, even if it's a $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 repair. Honestly, with technology and training these days, if you take it to the right shop with the right people working on your cars, we have laser-guided measuring systems. We have welders, compression spot welders that are intuitive and they think for themselves when they're welding your car together. All of these things with training and you can have your car back to normal, back to pre-accident condition, even down to the finish work, the details, the paint job, even like how you seam seal a floor, if you put a rear body panel on it and that kind of thing. There's ways to make it look just like factory and measurements and factory tolerances, the whole thing.
And so when we're talking about that, you do want to work with a shop that's experienced. If you're worried about that, go find somebody who's really good at it. Go to, bumper-to-bumperradio.com, find I17 Collision. These people are passionate about fixing cars, and they're on top of these cars. That even the body technology is changing year to year, and they're constantly in school and staying up with all that stuff. Paint technologies change, stuff like that, to make the car the same. I've seen bad repairs where, a year later the paint is gone. It's not. No one's standing behind it. That body shop's not even in existence because he was painting in his garage or something.
Sure, and then that adds into the idea that my car will just never be right. But it's the wrong shop, wrong materials.
For sure.
Yep.
Hey, John, thanks for the call. 602-277-5827. 602-277 KTAR. We are going to go with Chuck in Mesa on a 2004 Ford F150. How can we help you today, Chuck? You are on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Thanks. Love the show. Thanks for taking my call.
You bet.
Question I have for you, I don't know if it applies to which subject right now, but I have this vehicle and I'm at 305,000 miles on the vehicle. I've driven basically 90% of the time on the freeway with cruise, and I wanted to find out what can I do to be proactive and what is realistic I can expect as far as this vehicle to run. I mean, is it a 400,000-mile engine? Is it what should I do to be proactive as far as I've pretty much replaced fluids and done all the things you need to do, but I just wanted to know if there's something at this mileage that I can do, or really just replace it as it goes. And I'll listen to your answer off the air.
Okay. Well, you can keep a car going really as long as you want. I mean, it's just how much do you want to fix it? When do the repair bills starting to add up? When I see these vehicles that are driven constantly on the freeway or freeway or highway and are well maintained, you can see them go 300,000 miles with no traumatic repairs, as long as they haven't been in an accident, of course, but nothing big really happens. So at some point, though, I mean, things just eventually always wear out, and you're going to have to start to say, hey, my repair bills are adding up to a point, and there may be a point. It's, somebody may take it from you at 300,000 miles and put another 100,000 or 200,000 miles on it. But that's only you can decide. Do I like the truck? Is the front seat worn out? Because that's usually what happens. By the way, if the front seat's worn out, I think you guys can fix that at I-17.
We take care of the front seat at I-17, you bet.
That's the biggest thing. I know when I get an older car with 300,000 miles on it and I drive it around the block at my shop, my back gets sore. And the person that's driving it doesn't know that they're actually tilted when they're walking because that driver's seat is worn out. But you can keep until the repairs exceed what makes sense to you. If you like the truck, keep driving the truck. 300,000 miles, if you still got the original transmission, that's something's going to be coming up. That could be a $2,000, $3,000 repair. That's something. The engine won't go forever. At some point, something's going to break. There'll be a catastrophic repair. And if it's $3,000, do I want to fix this car and keep going with it? So that's what you got to decide. But people think in the old days, your car, after 100,000 miles, you figured it was worn out. Cars have gotten better, and it's my belief that a car is easily good for 200,000 miles. Most people drive 15,000 miles a year. If we want to use that as an average, well, that means after 10 years, you got 150,000 miles on it. So realistically, unless there's some big dramatic change in technology, you can have a car for 10 to 15 years, And the idea is that if you took care of it, you can actually sell it without having had to buy anything major, and somebody else can use it and go on with it. So when we come back, we're taking your calls at 602-277-5827. We're going to have the automotive tip of the week. I think it might have something to do with taking care of your car and the paint on your car, because today is Auto Body Day at Bumper to Bumper Radio. I am Dave Riccio, and in with me today is Kevin Rowe from I17 Collision, and we look forward to talking to you when we get back.
Hi, Lisa Henry with Russ Lyon Sotheby's International Realty. Have you been thinking maybe the time is right to move, but you're not sure if you have enough equity in your home or if it really is a good time? Well, home values have increased significantly over the past few years, and interest rates are still historically low. For how long? No one knows. But for every 1% increase in the interest rate, the result is about a 10% loss in purchasing power. So it might be a really great time to sell your home and either upsize or downsize to a new home while the interest rates are still low. Contact me via my website at lisareneehenry.com or direct at 480-330-9530 for a no-obligation market valuation on your home and to hear about our global online marketing plan designed to sell your home quickly for top dollar. Again, that's lisareneehenry.com, 480-330-9530. Come experience the difference a truly customer-focused real estate agent can make.
There's nothing more important than family. Hi, Kurt Rock for Kurt's Auto Repair. Family-owned and operated and bumper-to-bumper radio preferred. We've been taking care of Valley families and their auto care needs with a perfect Better Business record for over 27 years. Come experience the difference our ASE Master Techs can make for you and your family at Kurt's Auto Repair. Just east of I-17 at 22nd Avenue and Bell Road, or online at mycarhertz.com. Gas or diesel, foreign or domestic. If your car hurts, take it to Kurt's.
Summer's winding down, Dave. It's back to school.
Yep. Check out my new Scooby-Doo lunchbox, Matt. Cool, huh?
Yeah, nice, Shaggy. And did you write your What My Car Did for Summer essay?
What? Is that due?
Join us Saturdays, 11 to noon, for Bumper to Bumper Radio on News Talk 92.3 KTAR.
And for the best car repair and body shops you can trust, it's bumpertobumperradio.com. Drive in anxious, cruise out feeling fine with Bumper to Bumper Radio. Few cities are as car-centric as Phoenix, and this is the show that'll help you to better understand that machine you depend on to get around the valley. It's Bumper to Bumper Radio. KTAR News on 92.3 FM and the KTAR app for Android and iPhone.
Well, welcome back to Bumper Radio. In this September day, I think it's September, I really like the Burr months. My wife always says she likes the Burr months, September, October, November, December. And then January, yeah. But the Burr months, I mean, it's cooling down, it's feeling good. You know, I get out in the morning and I just go, it's not 110 degrees out right now. It's only 100 today. Let's go do something.
It's sweater weather.
Exactly. I don't want to catch a cold out here. So, hey, we got a text in here, and I'm Dave Riccio, and Matt Allen is off today. Bumper to Bumper Radio. We've got Kevin Rowe from I17 Collision. He's one of the Bumper to Bumper Radio members. Where's your shop at, Kevin?
It's on 23rd Avenue, just north of Peoria, just off I17 Collision.
How long?
I17 Collision stuck in my brain there. Right off the I17. So.
How long have you been in the auto body business?
I've been in the industry for about 25, 26 years now, and I've owned I-17 Collision for about 16 years.
For about 16 years. You've seen a lot change in 16 years?
Oh, my gosh, yeah. And even from the start of me being involved in the industry, starting writing estimates with the old Mitchell books and handwriting everything, the technology changes, the changes in the marketplace. The changes in the vehicles themselves. It's been a whirlwind, especially the last 10 years. That's been increased.
Yeah, stuff changes so fast, and that's the thing I see in our business. It changes every year that goes by. It changes quicker.
Yeah, it does.
But I think we learn to adapt better to the changes. It's changing quicker. We're adapting quicker.
Yep.
And it's like, what's new today?
Yeah, you always have to be forward-looking in any industry, really, because technology it's screamingly fast-paced.
Cool. Well, up first this segment, we're going to go with Josh in Phoenix. He's got a 2001 Chevrolet Suburban. Hey, Josh, you are on Bumper to Bumper Radio. How can we help you?
Well, my Suburban's having a hard time starting. It's got a fuel lean code on both banks, So I first thought it might be the intake manifold gasket, so I replaced those. While I was in there, I did the injector O-rings. Hasn't seemed to help. I had recently replaced the fuel pressure regulator about a year ago. I'm kind of stuck on it's either a vacuum leak possibly or a fuel pump. Any suggestions?
Hey, Josh, have you checked the fuel pressure?
Yeah, I put a fuel pressure gauge on it, and when I just turned the key on, it would go to only about 15 pounds and drop to zero right away. And when I got it running, it would be about 20 pounds. So I'm kind of leaning toward fuel pump, but I didn't know if there was something else in there.
I think we probably need to be more north of 30, 35 pounds. I don't know the spec off the top of my head.
65 is the spec when running.
Spec when running, 65. Okay, I thought it was a window more like a 40 to 60 kind of thing. But I would definitely go there. I mean, one of the things, when they're having trouble starting, there's a check valve in that pump that maintains that pressure overnight while the vehicle's sitting. So if it's not bleeding off through a regulator, it could be bleeding off back through the pump. So a lot of people, when they come to the car, they'll cycle that key. You turn it on and it pressures up, and they'll do that a couple times and then start the vehicle. That's one way to see how the fuel pump is doing. But I would definitely be leaning hard toward that fuel pump. And a lot of people don't bother to check the fuel pressure. They'll just throw a fuel pump at it. But that's a good test. And a lot of people say, hey, should I do this? Should I do that? Should I do the other? If it came to our shop, we couldn't just pitch parts at your car. We'd have to go find an objective reason to put a fuel pump in your car. But I think if the fuel pressure is way below and you've done everything else, I would have probably started with a fuel pump. That would have been me, but I think that's what you're going to find to be the answer. So thanks for the call. 602-277-5827, 602-277, KTAR. We are going to go with Dan in Mesa on a 2005 Dodge Ram. Hey, Dan, you're on Bumper to Bumper Radio. How can we help you today?
Yeah, the truck's not mine. I'm looking to purchase it. And a buddy of mine had two Dodges around the same year, and the rear end locked up about 165,000 miles. I was wondering if you knew if that was common in the Dodges or what.
Is this a half-ton that you're looking at or a three-quarter ton?
It's a three-quarter ton.
A three-quarter ton. I wouldn't say we do a lot of differential work at Tri-City Transmission, and I wouldn't say overwhelmingly that there's any inherent problem per se with the Dodges, because we rebuild differentials in Dodges, Ford, Chevrolets, Toyotas, Nissans. We do them all. So I think there's nothing overwhelming there. If you're thinking about buying the truck, I know you said something about friends of yours got the truck. Always, I'll recommend this to everybody. If you want to keep friendships, don't buy vehicles from friends or family, with very few exceptions. And my exceptions are the car is newer than 3 years and 36,000 miles and is still under a bumper-to-bumper warranty. Okay, maybe that's worth buying. What do you think, Kevin?
I'm not a mechanic, but I agree with you, man. That's
you're gonna sell your buddy your car, and you guys are gonna be on a barbecue on Saturdays. They say, you know what? The fuel pump just went on a truck you sold me.
That's gonna happen.
It's guaranteed to happen. They're guaranteed to break down, and you don't want it to be like a rock in your shoe in your friendship. Keep your friendships. Don't buy cars from friends. So thanks so much for the call, Dan. 602-277-5827. Looks like we're going to go with Scott in Gilbert on a 1999 Mercedes ML320. Hey, Scott, you're on Bumper to Bumper Radio. How can we help you?
Hi, guys. How are you doing today?
Fantastic.
Good. Well, I've got a really complicated situation that involves collision. And I was almost a textbook example that you had mentioned earlier. I was on the SR51 in rush hour, heavy traffic, in my girlfriend's ML320. Was traffic stopped. I got just plowed into from behind by two cars. And so we're thinking that it's the age of it, and it's almost got 200,000 miles, they're going to probably total the car.
Mm-hmm.
And it's probably going to be, we can see that the Blue Book value is maybe going to be $1,000, $1,500.
Yeah, good chance that it will total out, yeah.
It's a one owner. I mean, they've had it since it was brand new. It's been in the family. It's been the pillar of a workhorse. I mean, it's literally cost us just oil changes since 100,000 miles to the 198,000 miles that are on it now. It's never had any trouble, so we're wondering what can we do? I mean, how are we we're going to probably get a lot less than we're going to get into another new vehicle that's going to be just as reliable.
Right. Let me ask you a couple questions on that, Scott.
Okay.
Have you gotten the estimate from the insurance carrier yet?
Not yet. They sent somebody by to look at one of the insurance companies sent somebody by to look at it, but we're still waiting for the other one to send another adjuster by to look at the damage.
Okay.
And assess it. It just happened the other day.
Yeah. Well, a couple of things that happen in a situation like this that I usually recommend. You know your car. It's like Dave and I were talking about earlier. And if the repair value does push your vehicle into a total loss position, the idea that you can actually retain the vehicle and fix it if for a little bit more money out of pocket, that's always an option if you know that it's a good, reliable car, and you don't want to get a payment, and it might not make financial sense when it comes to that car, but if you have to turn around and try to buy something used, you don't know what you're going to be getting. That is always an option, and if the repairs aren't severe, I have customers do that at my shop all the time.
Well, now, they're not totaling it because it can't be fixed. They're totaling it because the math doesn't make sense for the insurance company. So if they say, hey, we're going to give you $2,000, you can retain the car and fix it for $3,500, well, you kind of got to rebuy your car back, the car that you love, for $1,500. Exactly. That's kind of the way I'm doing the math there. So still could be worth it. Great question. Thanks so much for that, Scott. We are going to go with Julian in Avondale on a 2000 Chevy Silverado. How can we help you, Julian? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Hey, guys. Yeah, I totally agreed on that. And on not selling a vehicle to your family members. Yeah.
Lost a brother that way.
No, definitely, man. Yeah, my question is simple, guys. It's in regards to oil, synthetic oil. I've been using synthetic oil on my pickup, but is it okay to go back to conventional, or you have to keep, if once you use synthetic oil, you have to keep using it all the time? Or even to top off?
That's a great question. We had a show a couple weeks back with a tribologist. He's a guy that studies fluid. I think tribologist is what you call him. But that came up. In the old days, we had conventional oil, and all of a sudden people would take a car where we ran conventional oil in it for years and years and years, and synthetic came out, and I saw the Mobil 1 commercial where they put the oil in the skillet and they burned it, that kind of thing. And I thought, man, that's great. I'm going to put that in my car. Well, you go put synthetic in a car that's been running conventional, all of a sudden all these leaks show up. And that was what happened when synthetic first came around, because it was so different to the base of the conventional oils. As times have changed, that doesn't really happen anymore. The synthetics address that problem better. At the same time, the conventional oils have gotten so much better that there's not that much of a difference. And that was kind of the feel that I got from the tribologist as far as how that happened and how that works. So I don't know that you're married to synthetic oil forever. They make synthetic blends. I'm not really sure those are really very well defined. But, yeah, give it a try. I mean, if, you're not necessarily married to it. The thing with the synthetic oil, it is better protection in the long run, so it's going to keep your car in better shape. So if it's working for you, stick with it. Why change? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So a lot of ways you can handle that. So anyway, the automotive tip of the week. Kevin, I'm going to put you on the spot here. Give me an automotive tip of the week. Everyone takes care of washing their car. They wash their car every Saturday. Hopefully you wash your car every Saturday. If not, shame on you. No, I'm teasing. But my car never fades because there's so much dirt on it. It protects the paint.
That's one reason not to wash your vehicle. You've got that built-in UV barrier happening right there.
called dirt and slime.
Dirt and sludge, yes.
For sure.
As far as, paint care, washing's important. And the other part of it is also, after you're done washing your vehicle, having it waxed at least I recommend twice a year, not more than that, with a good Carnauba paste wax. There's other options that are out there that are the thinner, more liquid type of wax, but they don't have as much of a high build as the Carnauba paste wax. And you would have to do it more frequently. But the more you're rubbing on your car, when you're waxing a car, you're also, at the same time, there's a certain amount of abrasion that's happening at the same time when you're rubbing. So I don't usually recommend more than twice a year with a good Carnauba paste. And, with the birds flying around, the one thing I do recommend is when you have a flock of birds flying overhead, get that stuff off the car right away, because that is so acidic that people don't even know how bad it is.
Bird poop is bad for your paint. I mean, I've heard
horrible.
That. And that's the thing about there's a dilemma in this town is it is so hot that shade is so valuable. So
everybody likes to get underneath those trees.
Get underneath that tree, and you park under the tree, and they crap all over your car.
Yep.
So get that stuff off. But the wax, I mean, if you're saying Carnauba, I don't know what Carnauba is. That just means it's a paste.
Yeah. You'll find them at any of the auto supply stores.
Okay.
And sometimes even like at QT or Circle K or something like that.
So that's building up on the paint, that's protecting, and that should happen at least twice a year?
Yep. I recommend twice a year with that. At minimum once a year, but at least twice a year, because it does add another film on top of your clear coat to help with the elements,
For sure. When we come back, we've got time for a couple more calls at 602-277-5827. We're also going to get to Gary and Clint. You're listening to Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Trust. It's hard to earn and sometimes even harder to find. If you live or work in downtown Phoenix, Matt Allen's Virginia Auto Service is celebrating over 20 years of award-winning service at the corner of 7th Street and Virginia. Recognized as one of the best service shops in the country, their customers have come to trust Virginia Auto Service for its A+ rating by the BBB, 2-year 24,000-mile warranties, and free transportation to and from your home or office. 20+ years of earning your trust. Virginia Auto Service. They're serious about service.
Ouch! Being out of tune is no fun, and maybe even a little painful. Hi, this is Lee Weatherby, owner of Accurate Automotive in Mesa. At Accurate, we are a family-owned and operated one-stop automotive repair shop that specializes in building long-term relationships that are in tune with your needs, not ours. We've been recognized nationally as one of the top shops in the country, but for over 20 years, our priority has stayed focused on providing quality automotive service and repair at a fair price. I invite you to come in and see the difference an in-tune relationship can make for you and your car. With our free courtesy inspection, a $49 value, we feel it is well worth our investment in you because we believe good long-term relationships start early with your first walk through our doors. Accurate Automotive, home of friends serving friends, just off Broadway and Robson in Mesa since 1992. For more information, check us out online at accurateautomotiveaz.com today.
There's nothing more important than family. Hi, Kurt Rock for Kurt's Auto Repair. Family owned and operated and bumper-to-bumper radio preferred. We've been taking care of Valley families and their auto care needs with a perfect Better Business record for over 27 years. Come experience the difference our ASE Master Techs can make for you and your family at Kurt's Auto Repair. Just east of I17 at 22nd Avenue and Bell Road, or online at mycarhurts.com. Gas or diesel, foreign or domestic. If your car hurts, take it to Kurtz.
This is Bumper to Bumper Radio, KTAR News on 92.3 FM.
Woo! I just feel like doing that.
I'm glad you did. You beat me to it.
Welcome back to Bumper Radio. I am Dave Riccio. Matt Allen from Virginia Auto Service he's not finished with his vacation yet. I think he'll get back today.
Yeah, he's suffering in Hawaii.
Hawaii. Hopefully he doesn't come back. When I come back from vacation, there was always a pipe that broke in my house or something like that. And something bad you're going to find when you were away for a week. So hopefully there's not too much of that going on. So we are talking about auto body and anything you want to talk about. And I got a text from the guy in the Dodge Ram. He said, I am not buying this truck from my friend. It's just my friend has two trucks similar. So I appreciate the clarification on that. I just wanted to make sure to protect your friendship. Yep. I had your best interest at heart. When I said that. And then I got a text here about you, Kevin. It says, I used I17 Collision, and they did excellent work at a fair price, good as new. And I'm always amazed by these cars that come to your shop that are all wrecked up, and I'm like, they can't do anything with that.
Yeah.
And then it's a week later, and the car's like brand new.
Oh, I have such a good team down there. It's, a lot of years of working with good guys and have the same philosophy of doing good repairs, just good customer service,
You said something there, team. If I wanted to, if I was new to a business and I wanted to start a business tomorrow, it takes you years to develop a team.
It does.
I mean, you can't just go out and I'll just run ads and I'll just get employees in here and they're going to be great.
Right.
It doesn't work that way.
It doesn't work that way. And understanding your own strengths and weaknesses, too. My shop manager, Xavier, I've even told him, he runs production for me down there. And I've told him to his face, you run the shop better than I can. But that's why he's there doing that, because he's great. He's great.
It's like Tom on our front counter. Tom, you're so much better on the phone than I am.
Yep.
So I'll just let you do it, and I will get out of the way. So up first this segment, we're going to go with Clint in Queen Creek. He's got a 1996 Nissan 200SX. How can we help you, Clint? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Yeah, I'm wondering if my car basically is worth keeping. So I need... Basically, I'm looking at probably about $500 or $600 in parts, plus paint and a few interior things. So I'm looking at about $2,000 to get it back to where basically original.
How many miles is on that thing?
140,000.
140,000. I cut you off there. You said
And then, so I picked the car up a year ago for about $2,000. So a year down the road, I'm basically looking to put into it what I picked it up for.
Right. Here's my answer to that is that it's a $2,000 car. In my mind, a $2,000 car is going to have some defects. The paint's not going to be perfect. There's going to be some interior things. It's a good commuting A to B type of car. It's not, I'm going to take it out at the car show and show it on the weekend, but it serves a purpose. If a Nissan with 140,000 miles, I think the best thing you can do is really know everything that it needs, all the possibilities. It sounds like you do some work yourself, talking about, I know the cost of parts and, that kind of thing. But if you don't know, take the car to a good shop and have them look at everything on the car, pick it apart, and say, hey, should I invest $2,000 in this or put the $2,000 into getting another car? And a shop's going to have to, I can't do that for you over the air, because I've seen cars like the guy that called earlier. He had a truck with 300,000 miles on it, and it was still a cream puff, because they're all highway miles. I can't tell that's what your car is or isn't, and a good shop is going to know the difference. Now, we do have a guy that's spent decades working for Nissan and Nissan dealerships. That's Joel at Arizona Import Specialist. They are in Tempe, and this is stuff that he grew up on. So he would be a perfect guy. He would know if there's something inherent that's coming up on that car that's going to add to that $2,000. So I would go there, have him check it out, and so see he can help you make an educated decision versus not having enough data to make a good decision. So thanks so much for the call. We're going to go with Gary. Looks like he's in Queen Creek on a 2001 Toyota Tacoma. How can we help you? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Same thing. Great call in this morning. 305,000 miles on my Tacoma so far. I bought it in order to write it up to at least 400,000. So I'm really happy so far. Lately, there's been an issue where when I'm braking, it seems as if when I start to brake, it seems as if it starts to do the little S swiggle there, where it just kind of shifts to one side. And I'm thinking that it's not the calipers. We put new pads on it. The new rotors are fine. What would I'm not too adept at bleeding the brake system and all, so I'd probably need to take that into a shop. But what are we looking at?
Yeah, let me clarify your symptom a little bit. So you're pulling up to a stop. Let's say you're 45 miles an hour. You're going down Shea Boulevard. The light turns red. You come up to a stop. Are you saying in the steering wheel the car wanders a little left and then a little back to the right?
Exactly. And when you're letting off the brake, it kind of does that too. It seems like one side's catching more than another.
Is it always go the same way, or does it go both directions?
Well, when you let off, it goes back the other way. When you push down, it's kind of pulls to the right.
Right. I don't know that I'm just looking at brakes to figure that one out. So that's when we're talking about a vehicle that has 300,000 miles on it. We have something in there called cumulative wear. So that means a little bit something funky in the brakes. We got a little bit something funky in the steering and suspension. there's a whole lot of things that go on to add up to more than one symptom. So there's a lot going on there. So I've even seen, when tires get bad, we can have a bad tire cause that to happen, come up to a stop. So there's a whole lot going on. So to start to try and diagnose that, we're going to take a look at those tires. Maybe we're going to rotate them to see if something changes. The other thing we're going to do is we're going to take a look at those components in the front end. So that's going to be tie rod ends, the rack and pinion. I've seen rack and pinions where the bushings are loose and people are running around town with that rack and pinion shifting back and forth 1 inch one way, the other way. All that stuff happens, so just to say, hey, it's brakes, because when I hit the brakes, the car moves one way or the other. The other thing on a lot of these front-wheel drive cars, they have something called torque steer. So you give it some gas, and it's got some bad motor mounts, and it'll tug the car to the right or tug the car to the left. So we see a lot of that stuff going on. So it's a complicated question to what seems like a simple problem. So thanks for the call, Gary. Hey, if you need a shop to help you work through that, you can find them at bumpertobumperradio.com. You do need to find all the things that may be going on that could cause that, and I'm not so much just looking at brakes. I think there's more to it. We're going to try and sneak in Elaine from Glendale on a 1990 Oldsmobile. Hey, Elaine, you're on Bumper to Bumper Radio. What can we do for you?
Yeah, hi. Well, I've been listening, and you were talking about replacing the seats, that you do that work.
Yeah.
Ballpark, what does it cost to have the front seats redone?
Are you talking upholstery, or are you talking, are they sagging and all that?
Upholstery's still good. It's the interior. It feels like I'm sitting on River Rock.
Oh, okay. Well, that's one thing I would need you to come down to the shop. There's a bunch of different resources that we have available to us. We can find some, there's always the OE manufacturers, depending on the year of the vehicle. Sometimes parts aren't available anymore, so we might have to go with a used solution. There's companies out there that just buy seats out of total vehicles and warehouse them. And there's a lot of those different type of options for us. So if you could, come down to my shop, or anybody's shop should be able to help you, but we'd love to take care of you.
Yeah, so is that something where, is that a $300 thing, a $500 thing?
Gosh, seats can be really expensive.
expensive. Okay, so it's hard to even ballpark, because we don't know if we're talking about Little League ballpark, Major League ballpark, Minor League ballpark.
Yeah, you can spend $1,000 on a seat.
Which ballpark are we talking about?
Yeah.
So I appreciate y'all joining us here on Bumper to Bumper Radio. Hey, Kevin, thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me in, Dave.
Tell us again real quickly how to, the name of your shop, where it's at, and how to get a hold of you.
I17 Collision Repair. Our address is 11025 North 23rd Avenue in Phoenix, and you can call us at 602-249-1706.
To find a friendly, honest, competent shop like I17 Collision, you can find them at Bumper to Bumper Radio. We will see you next week.
Matt and I share car repair tips weekly to help you keep your car safely on the road, and a few of them are easy to do. Yep, you're right, Dave. And one of the easiest is to have a dependable battery that you can trust to get you started no matter what the conditions. Interstate batteries are what we trust at Bumper to Bumper Radio. In fact, they're what we use at our own shops for our customers. If you're like most people, your car is one of your most valuable investments. Make sure you take care of that investment with the power necessary to get you where you need to be. Interstate batteries are America's #1 replacement brand with the factory fresh guarantee, and they're easy to find at good shops everywhere. Cars or trucks, Interstate has you covered with long life and performance in our harsh desert climates with products like Megatron Plus. It carries a 30-month free replacement and a 6-year performance guarantee. Interstate batteries. No battery lasts longer. Check them out at interstatebatteries.com.
Hi, I'm Scott, General Manager with Whitey's Auto Repair here in South Scottsdale. We built a reputation for quality auto service and repair for over 45 years, and our customers have come to trust us for our recommendations. We value that trust, and that's why when it comes to transmissions, for the past several decades, we have been recommending Tri-City Transmission. They have yet to disappoint. I feel so strongly about it, I wouldn't go anywhere else. Why would you? Google them online today at tricitytransmission.com. Go where the pros go. Tri-City Transmission.
Summer's winding down, Dave. It's back to school.
Yep. Check out my new Scooby-Doo lunchbox, Matt. Cool, huh?
Yeah, nice, Shaggy. And did you write your What My Car Did for Summer essay?
What? Is that due?
Join us Saturdays, 11 to noon, for Bumper to Bumper Radio on News Talk 92.3 KTAR.
And for the best car repair and body shops you can trust, it's bumpertobumperradio.com. Drive in anxious, cruise out feeling fine with Bumper to Bumper Radio.